Well, hello. I guess I need to take Valerie's beautiful picture down. Happy Friday. What's up, my people? It's Twyla Jenkins here. I'm the founder and CEO of the I Am That Woman movement. Aren't you excited about our annual retreat, our fifth annual retreat coming up in just 40 days? And it's not too late for you to register. I cannot watch that video enough and get excited about this year's I Am That Woman retreat. Well, I showed you our speaker lineup, and today we have another amazing speaker coming to pour into you and to tell you a little bit about what she's going to be talking about and doing at this year's retreat. But before I even begin our show, you already know I'm live in Chicago. And so this week has been nothing short of amazing, exciting, electrical. If you enjoyed the DNC convention this week, drop it in the chat. Give me a fire. Give me a it was a bomb. Give me a which night was your favorite night, and probably last night, right? So our sister, our future, I'm speaking into the future because we have work to do. So we have to do our work because when we fight, we win. And now is the time for us to fight for our next president, Kamala Harris, to be our leader of this fearless nation. I was so excited. So let me back up and let me tell you all about some of my God winks. Hey, Karyn, thanks for joining. Some of my God wink moments this week. God has been showing up and showing out for me. I don't know what kind of week you've had, but my week has been amazing. So it all started on Wednesday. Wednesday, I woke up and I felt so good. Like, I was just like, today is going to be a good day. And even my walking into wellness, if you go back on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Instagram, my walking into wellness message was, have you ever just woke up in the morning and just felt good? Like, no particular thing, just like today's going to be a good day. Hey, Karen Lowe. And that's how it was for me Wednesday morning. Like, instantly, I was just like, ooh, okay, energy, come on through. Like, okay, Holy Ghost, I see you, right? Like, I'm just having a really good feeling. I'm talking about 4:30 a.m., right? So I was like, I'm going to claim this. Today is a good day. Went walking after prayer and meditation, reaffirmed in my walking into wellness video, today's going to be a great day. So I had made a lot of preparation to go to the DNC, knew it was going to be here in Chicago, hadn't bid it on any business because I looked at my schedule and didn't want to be over capacity. I knew how close it was to the retreat and got 3 new clients, right, over these past couple of weeks. So I was like, all right, God, I'm going to let you be God, showing up for strategic events, right? And so, but I wanted to go. I was like, you know what? After watching it on TV Monday and Tuesday and Saturday, Algene and I hosted friends from Rainbow Push here at the house. Thank you so much, Shelly Davis, Glenda Gill, Janet, Janice Matthews, and all of you who came and just showed love. And we just talked about our moments of being with Reverend Jackson, because you all know there would have been no Barack and there certainly wouldn't be a Kamala had there not been a Reverend Jackson. Reverend Jackson, of course, has supported me in my career. Rainbow Push Coalition, I've worked with them since I started my business in 2002. I digress. So Wednesday morning, I wake up feeling super good, decided, you know what? I want to go. I was like, I want to be just in the stadium. Like, I just want to be in the atmosphere. Tuesday night, I was talking to a good girlfriend and client, Nadia Quarles, as we were watching TV. And girl, we was talking about everything from COVID with all them people, and didn't nobody have a mask on. And if we went, we would wear a mask and all of that on Tuesday night, right? So on my way to walking in the park, I just texted a few friends, because guess what? You all know, a closed mouth never gets fed. So I said, the least I can do is ask. So I just texted a couple friends, was like, hey, if you get tickets tonight or tomorrow night, if you come across 1 or 2, let me know, right? So I just felt good. And I was like, I'm going to be there. So literally 7 o'clock, my boy showed up. Call me, Twyler. I got you. Come on through, right? So Algene couldn't go, unfortunately. Hey, Shy, happy blessed Friday to you too. And so called Nadia because we had just been watching it together. She was like, I'm game. Had to leave my sister's, Tyree, I'm so sorry. I had to leave your board meeting. But it was an opportunity of a lifetime. You can't ask God and then reject the blessing, right? So change clothes, hop in an Uber, Nadia and I get there, right? So call my boy. He had given my tickets to somebody else who was working. I called him. He was like, I gotta find somebody to bring them to you. We were at the gate. I was like, come on now. Like we burning like the midnight oil here. Like we need to get in the United Center. We come this far by faith, right? So he was having issues with getting. So I'm gonna get to the show, y'all. But I got to tell you about my God winks. It's so exciting. So long story short, at the gate where you have to have credentials, I just told God, I said, listen, I need a friend. I was like, God, I need you to send somebody that will have 2 tickets, somebody who knows me, somebody who will spot me to get into the stadium. I've come all the way this far by faith. I know I'm getting in the stadium. Here comes my beloved number 1 friend, Glenn Eden. Thank you, Glenn, so much. I said, well, I'm in the right place, right? So Glenn is the chairman of the board of our tourism. And so Glenn helped the sister out, even got the other tickets still to be able to get in. And so I just want to say thank you because it was amazing. I'm a small town Indiana girl. So to hear our future vice president's story, him being from a small town in Minnesota, was touched my heart. So I was in the right place at the right time. It was amazing. It was electrical. I should have brought my signs in here that said Coach Waltz and USA and all that good stuff. So for anybody who was able to go to the DNC last night, any night this week, I know if you watched it on TV, just drop it in the chat. Like, what did you love? What I loved is that it really did feel like this country has hope and a future and unity. I'm telling you, a couple of weeks ago, I was feeling a little bit of despair and I was really feeling like we was, kind of spinning out of control as a country. And this week has ignited my faith and my belief and just everything about what I want for this country. And that is for us to be together. That is for us to love on each other, to support each other, to pour into each other. And so that's what I felt. And I hope you all too. So again, drop it in the chat. What did you feel? What did you experience? What was your favorite part about this week? Because I know that is what it was for me. And guess what? That is what the I Am That Woman movement is all about. It's about sisterhood. It's about us coming together. It's about us pouring into each other, right? It's about building up, not tearing down. It's about unifying, right? Not destroying, right? And so I'm super excited because that's what this Black women's wellness movement is all about. And y'all know, as a Black woman, I'm on fire today to talk to another strong Black woman about a topic that is so important. And that is that nutrition is medicine. Now, how many of you all know that that what you eat, what you put in your body matters and it changes. I mean, it changes the game on how you live at every age and every stage of your life. So Karyn Calabrese is one of our amazing speakers this year at the I Am That Woman retreat. I cannot wait to sit in on her session that is going to be about just our self-love, self-discovery, self-forgiveness, and how we feed our bodies mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and nutritionally. Karyn is a stranger to some, but not to most, especially those who live here in Chicago. For years, Karyn had a raw food restaurant downtown long before veganism and raw was even popular, long before we knew anything about what it means to eat really, really, really good. And so I'm bringing to you our number one girl, our number one nutritionist, our number one vegan raw specialist, Karyn Calabrese. What's up, my sister?
Hey, how are you? I'm so
I
excited to be a part of all of this, really. Thank you so much for including me.
Absolutely. I appreciate you as well. Thank you all for dropping it in the chat. What you all loved, absolutely loved about this week with the DNC. I know, Karyn, we've been talking about it for the past couple of days. And I usually always ask my guests first thing. So tell us a little bit about yourself. And I'm going to ask you that question. But since I'm on the DNC role, tell me and tell our guests, what did you love the most about this week during the DNC?
Seeing the future vice president's son applaud his father, that was everything. It brought the warmth, it brought the love, because that's what life is all about. It's about love. You can have all the dictates of this and should and whatever, but life is about love. And seeing the love that his son showed to him so unabashedly, with no thought, it was just the pure love. To me, that said everything. It showed the encompassing of every single thing about life that we're supposed to be about, how the son felt about his father. So that to me was my shining moment. Of course, there were many, many, but when that happened, like I got tears also. I felt, because how many of our children in this day and age don't have that respect and love for us? How many of the people in our lives, we aren't showing the kids how they need to love and respect us? So that just kind of encompassed everything for me that we should be striving for and looking for in our lives, because our children are the next generation. Our children are what's going to be. And I'll do a little quick story along with that. I'm on Instagram, Karyn Calabrese, and people follow me. And I answer people sometimes. And there was a little girl, she was 3 years old, and she was sounding off about her aunts, and she was using the bitch word, and blah blah. And everybody was laughing. This is what's on the internet. At 3 years old. And so I typed something in. I said, I find this very sad. I don't think it's funny at all. And, I could, if I had said anything like that growing up to my parents or grandparents, I would have been under the house, right? But anyway, people were laughing and they were making jokes. And I thought, what a sad commentary on our world. Because if this is the way she's speaking at 3, what's she going to be like at 13? What's she going to be like at an adult? So seeing that young man with all of that love and honor and respect for his father. By the way, when I typed it, most people agreed with me, but a few people came on and said, "Oh, that's a Karen for you," or "Oh, blah blah." And I said, "No, excuse me, it's Karen with a Y, and I'm black, okay? And we don't bring our kids up that way, all right?" Because it was a little white girl, God bless her. And it's just so it was just a commentary to me on what the world, the direction the world needs to go in, and it's starting with our children, it's starting with the families, it's starting with the respect of all around us. So that was my shining moment. There were many, but when that happened, it was everything.
I love that moment too. And I would have loved to have been there last night, but like I said, I'm really happy I was there on Wednesday night. And you're right, to see his son just crying and just being so proud. He was like, "That's my dad. That's my dad,"
Mhm.
right? And so, and he's already the governor, right? And so it's not like this is the first time that he has seen him. Of course, on this level, yes, it is, but just to feel that genuine family love, right? That we don't always see, and again, this is not a
Especially in our
political
world
show,
today. Yes.
especially in the world today, that we definitely see that. All right, my camera's like, there's somebody back there. No, I'm right here. And so now, Karyn, tell us a little bit about yourself. Who is Karyn Calabrese?
Well, I've been in the holistic. I'm not a nutritionist, by the way. I'm not a legal anything according to what our governments think are legal. I am a self-taught, using my body and my life as a laboratory. I've been plant-based for over 50 years. I've been raw for 40. But what I want people to understand is I didn't go from A to Z overnight. I didn't pick up a book one day and go, oh, raw foods, that's the way to go. Because there were not that many books then about it. But you mentioned my restaurant. I had the second raw food restaurant in the entire country, not just Chicago, in the entire country. Back in 80, whatever I did, 89 or whatever, nobody had heard. You probably weren't born. People had ever heard of it. And so it was a journey of self-discovery, but the self-discovery, the impetus came about because all the women in my family died overweight and very young. My mom died at 47, my grandmother died at 50, and my great-grandmother died at 60. And they died overweight and from degenerative diseases, cancer, diabetes, blah, blah, blah. Well, at 77, I don't know what illness is. I don't know what tiredness is. I don't know what any of the what the world tells us is supposed to be coming next or in the position I'm supposed to be in my age. I don't know what Botox is or fillers or surgery or any of those things. I've just learned to live within as close to I can, because I'm not perfect, what God intended for this magnificent machine that we are. And what most people don't take into account, I go, well, yeah, I eat kind of good and I do this and I do that and I don't do much of this. But here's the bottom line. You can't negotiate with Mother Nature, okay? There is no negotiation that I don't do much of. There is a cause and effect. And everything that you put in here is going to affect how you think, how you look, how you respond, everything. Different degrees, different levels, all right? But we can be responsible for 99%, I feel. And like I said, it doesn't happen overnight. And I don't want people to think that I'm in a position of shoulds or right or wrong or good or bad. But what I am in a position is of what I've done and what I've learned has worked. So I kind of feel like I'm a living example that what I teach, but there are many roads to the top of the mountain. So what I'm all about is helping people to wake up to a different reality, not to accept what the world has deemed is our next place in this world. You know, when they started sending me that ARP stuff in my 40s and 50s, I threw it out because I am not middle aged. I'm not with the where they want to put me in at that point. I'm not a part of the markers. And that's what I want to help people is to step out of those markers, to step out of what you're being programmed to believe and live and become. Because what we think is just as important as what we eat. You know, and if you're accepting, well, this is what's going to happen. Well, I'm middle aged, so I'm going to have a little belly, or I'm putting on weight because I'm older now. There's no reality to that. Just because the axis of the world goes around again doesn't mean you're supposed to get older and your eyes are supposed to fall apart, your heart and everything, because we are a self-regenerating organism. We're getting new cells constantly, new tissue, everything. So this fact that we're falling apart is just cause and effect. So that's what I'm all about. But I don't want people to think I'm a either or right or wrong or good or bad. I'm all about taking in new information and taking and learning what you can at this point in time in your life. So did I give you
A-
that? Did I give you
Absolutely. Yes. I think you answered that question. You answered it very, very well. And thank you for the clarity. Like, I'm not a nutritionist. This is about life lessons. This is about self-taught and self-learning of what works and your story of why, because you lost so many family members at a young age from what they were digesting and what they were eating. So this comes from a very a genuine and transparent place that you were like, not me. Like, I want to break the cycles and the curses of what's been going on in our families.
Well, I was a very sickly child too. I had every allergy known to man. I had the worst skin on the planet. I mean, I had everything typical of, I used to wear glasses. Okay. And I'm going to bring that up because you have your beautiful glasses on. And I was on a panel a few weeks ago and everybody on had glasses. And I was the only one on there that didn't have glasses. But one of the self-awarenesses that I bring on is as your eyes weaken, that's your kidneys weakening. So you can stop that. You don't have to have glasses. You don't have to, your vision doesn't, that isn't a part of the reality.
Oh no, Karyn just went out. Hopefully she'll come back because that was some good information. Oh my goodness. Not sure what happened, but until I'm sure she'll get reconnected. So let me remove her until I see her come back on stage. Well, Yes. We are going to talk about, and that's a great question, Shai. We are going to talk about how she eats daily because Karyn is 77. And when I first met her and talked to her, she said she hadn't been sick in 50 years. And I think when I first connected with her, I think I was sick at the time, and I rarely get sick, but I had traveled and I was eating in the airport. Should have had my mask on, should have just waited to eat, but I got a little bug. And when I first talked to her, she said, Twyler, I don't even know what sickness is. And she was like, I have not been sick in over 50 years. So hopefully she will get reconnected and we can bring her back because I want to hear, like she said, I have glasses on. I'm 53. And so I want to hear, like, how does food, and that is exactly what today's show is all about. Literally, today's show is about nutrition being our medicine. So, what I do know for sure is we do and can change chronic conditions, right? So what I wanted to talk to Karyn about, the enemy's always mad when there's fire that's going to be shared on this show. There's always something. We even check in 15 minutes before the show to make sure we have a good connection, good sound, good lighting. But you know what? He's going to try and do what he's going to try and do to prevent this information from going on. I don't even know why. Even my camera is acting crazy today. So I'm going to just keep it moving. And hopefully Karyn will be able to pop off and then pop back on. Um, the reason why we have our 6 pillars of wellness is because what we do know is that nutrition is a major part of how you think, how you feel, how you exercise. Like that is what we do at the retreat. Is like we connect these 6 pillars of wellness because all of them connect one to the other. Oftentimes we don't realize that, right? So sometimes we can be eating comfort food because we're feeling kind of down or depressed because something that's going on in our life. Maybe we're having some situations in our relationships or on the job or just something. And so the next thing you know, and something that Karyn said to me, she was like, one of the things that she hates that they show in movies, women, is that when we're sad or having a breakup, what do they show us in the movies always doing? Eating a pint of ice cream. Like that is the worst thing that they can say that helps you feel better. Ice cream does not help you feel better when you are going through. All right, I think I see Karyn back, hopefully. Let's see if I can bring her back on stage.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
But I'm on a different phone.
Okay.
Wait, I have to hang this one up.
Yep. I'll hang it out. I got it. I kicked it out. You're good.
Okay, well, I'll just hold this one. I am so sorry.
That's okay. It happens. So something that you were talking about right before you ended was your eyes.
Oh, yes, I was talking about, well, it isn't just the eyes. Everything in our body is, everything on the outside is showing us what's going on the inside. I'm going to try to put this on the thing again. Everything on the outside is showing us what's going on. This is what you do when you do a live with a 77-year-old. Okay, I got all the chops of what to say, but all this, am I gone again?
Nope, you're still here. Oh, yeah.
Can you see me?
Yes, I can see you.
I can't see me, but that's okay. All right, I'm going to leave it at that. I can't see me anymore, but if you say I'm there, I'm going to leave it at that. Anyway, okay. What I was saying was everything internally that's going on inside that shows us on the outside is showing us what's going on the inside. Every line on your face, every double chin, every line around your eyes is related to your liver, your kidneys, and how your bloodstream is going. So one of the things I do that I feel is so necessary is I wake people up. So do you become perfect? No, but you don't accept the realities that are being pushed upon you. You question. And I've had some of the greatest teachers in the world, from Dr. Ann Wigmore, who started the Raw movement, to Dr. Gabriel Cousins, to Victoria Skobenskas. And whatever I learned, I implemented. And what I like to tell people over and over again, it isn't, you don't go from A to Z overnight. You don't all of a sudden just get it and you're doing it. You learn the process of your body, because every cell in your body, you have over 1 trillion cells, and everyone is programmed. God programmed them before you got here, and they know exactly what they're supposed to have and what they're supposed to do. But the hostile world that we live in for humans has retrained everything. And this is why 1 in 2 people will have cancer. When I used to teach 50 years ago, it was 1 in 10. This is why everybody, we have cancer hospitals for children. You didn't have cancer hospitals for children in the 40s and 50s. And we're just accepting this as a new reality. And this is the way it's supposed to be. So what I consider myself in my teachings, and what I will be doing at the retreat that I'm so excited for, is just giving people nuggets of awareness and awakening, because so much of the rhetoric that we hear over and over again, it's just the same stuff. And I want to give people a new insight, a new light to look in, because I'm really not that different, because once you hear the truth, it makes sense. Can you implement it? Not necessarily. But I'm all about helping people to see a new reality within themselves,
Yeah.
and then just see the light and see where it takes you. It is a process. You don't go from A to Z overnight.
Karyn, you might not be able to see a question, but I have it on the screen. And it
Okay.
says, the question is, I eat comfort foods on the weekends. Is taking a break that detrimental?
Okay. I will say once again, it just depends on what goals you have for yourself. And there is no negotiating with Mother Nature. Everything is going to have an effect. How much of an effect can you live with? Years ago when I started all of this, I was a child of the 60s, and I was still smoking marijuana. I don't now, even though it's legal. And people would go, "Oh my God, Karyn, you're vegetarian, you're smoking marijuana." Well, that's what my body or my emotional state or wherever I was felt it needed. But the longer I cleansed and detoxed, and that's what I'm bringing up next, we need to cleanse and detox our bodies. And we do that, we get to the reality of where we're supposed to be. So the more I did that, I just couldn't do it. So yes, if your emotional eating is on the weekend, is serving a purpose for you, then I'm not going to say don't do it, but I'm going to say cleanse your body. Of course, I'm going to recommend mine, and you get closer to where you just wouldn't be able to do it. You wouldn't want to do it. It isn't a either or. You just don't want to. You get so invested mentally and physically in how you feel. I mean, I'm going to remind you, I don't get tired. I sleep 4.5 hours a night. I'm never tired. I'm never sleepy. It never occurred to me to put a mask on when all this stuff is coming on, because I don't believe germs and things are jumping out at us. It's the environment we create internally, what's going to happen. So it just depends on where you want to be in your process. Am I going to say it's that bad? If that's what you need emotionally, I'm not going to grab it away, but I'm going to say detox and cleanse, and then see where your new reality takes you.
Detox and cleansing. Let's talk about it. Some people say, detoxing and cleansing, oh, it really doesn't work. We really don't need to do it. Obviously, you do not feel that way. Detoxing and cleansing is something that you feel is essential. What does detoxing and cleansing do, Karyn?
Well, what it does is it breaks down the layers of toxicity. And it depends, there's so many, everybody calls something a detox. They stop eating fish, they're doing a detox. They drink 2 days of water, they're dead. It depends on, because there's so many terms for it now. I'm doing a detox, I'm doing a cleanse, and half of them are you're just doing something different, which is beneficial. But for me, when I do my detox cleansing, I'm bringing your blood sugar levels into balance, your protein levels, I'm shrinking the stomach, because most people are eating 1,000 times too much food from what they need. And so it depends on what you're calling a detox. The one that's the basis of mine, I learned from Dr. Ann Wigmore, and I've added on and changed over the years. But, she had terminal cancer and healed it. I'm working with 2 people right now, one with Parkinson's and somebody else with stage 4. And I did a few months ago, and we get people over it. So it all depends on to what degree you want to live and where you want to go. So detoxing is breaking down the layers of toxicity that we take in on a consistent basis. Even if you're eating like me, even though I'm raw, vegan, blah, 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 I still detox 4 times a year, because I'm not getting the air God created. When man was created, the oxygen levels were at 38%. We're now living in the teens in terms of oxygen. All cancer cells, all viruses, doesn't matter what you call the virus, they're anaerobic. And so they can't live in an oxygenated environment, which is another reason the whole mask thing didn't make a lot of sense to me, because you're cutting off your oxygen. I'm not telling people what to do, and you got to do what's comfortable. But these things cannot live, and this is science, in an oxygenated environment. So during my cleansing, we're doing things to upgrade the oxygen in your body. When I had a wellness spa, I had hyperbaric chambers and ozone bathing. But I'll talk about those things where people can look to oxygenate their bodies, to change this reality where we're living in a toxic world for human beings. Even if you're eating organic, that organic farm is right next to a pig farm. The wind isn't stopping with the chemicals over there. So we're taking in all these things consistently, and we have to break them down so they don't take over. All of our bodies
Karyn,
have.
I
I'm
think
sorry,
you
I could
answered
get carried
that's
away.
okay. That's okay. There's a question on the screen. I know you can't see it, and I
I,
think you answered it, but I want to make sure. Is there a difference between the two? Is there a difference between detoxing and cleansing?
no, I think it's just buzzwords that people have jumped onto to make money, to influence people to carry on. No, because years ago, when I started teaching detox 50 years ago, it meant you were getting off alcohol and drugs, right? And so I think that the two words are it just depends on who you're listening to, who you're following. But it's all about breaking down, in my world, the toxicity in your body. And I would like to add, I would look very carefully at the person I'm taking the advice from. Do they look like they read it from a book, or do they look like they're living it and it's a part of who they are? Dr. Wigmore, that I learned from, could do cartwheels at 87. I'm going to listen to her. I'm not going to listen to a 27-year-old nutritionist that went to school and tell me what to do. She hasn't lived it. That's my way of doing it. Do you know what I'm saying? That's not for everybody. But when you find a teacher that works for you, that you believe in, and I detox 4 times a year, you literally take yourself backwards. I used to wear glasses as a child. My vision was 50/80. At 77, I wear reading glasses, sometimes maybe at night, of 100 that I buy at the drugstore. So I'm saying everything is reversible.
And there's a follow-up to that. What method of detox do you suggest?
Mine.
So you have a detox program.
Like, I believe in any of the Ann Wigmore Institutes. There's one in San Diego, there's one in Texas, there's one in Puerto Rico. They basically, I recommend. There are a few other places that I recommend that you could go. But
tell us about yours. Tell us about, what is your program?
Well, I have classes online, and I'm actually working with a company right now. We're retooling everything, but I do 28-day detox online. I have a book called Soak Your Nuts, The Cleanse, that you can get on Amazon, or you can order through my website, shopkarens.com. I do weekly meetings every Wednesday night at 7 o'clock on Patreon. I go in and answer people's questions because I really dislike being on a little phone or computer typing all day. It really doesn't add to my life force at all, being on that black screen. In fact, I think it's taking away from life force. So I stay away from my phone and computer as much as I can. But on Wednesday nights at 7 p.m., I do a free question and answer on Patreon and give advice. My classes we just finished the sugar break. I teach a sugar break class. I mean, everybody is taking in not just white sugar. We go off of honey, and we go off of everything because we're taking in way too many sugars. On a daily basis, we should be getting maybe 2 or 3 grams, and people are doing about 125 to 200 pounds a year, even if they're not eating donuts. This is your Alzheimer's and dementia. So I go through all of these things. I'm on Instagram. I do little videos and talks about things like that. I'm on TikTok now. I'm very proud of myself. Everybody said I had to go on the kids' TikTok. I'm on YouTube. So I have cooking classes and things. I have a YouTube channel that you can go and get all kinds of free food. But my classes are
what's your website again? Because I'm gonna put it up on the screen.
Shop Karens, and Karyn, shopkarens.com.
Karens with an S?
K-A-R, yes, and Karyn.
Perfect. All right. So you guys can find her Wednesday night at 7 p.m. She teaches, and you can go and find more information. www.shopkarens, K-A-Y-R-Y-N.
No, Karyn. It's like
K-A-R-Y.
instead of E, it's a Y.
I got that wrong. Instead of an E, it's a Y. .com. So let me get that correct. K-A-R-Y. I'm typing and talking at the same time.
Better than what I can do. So just to sum everything up very quickly, all I want to do is help people wake up and pay attention and not accept the way we've been trained, well, this is what's next. You know, I'm at this age and this is, I mean, menopause, all of that is created by our lifestyles. It isn't a fact that you have to have this. So
Awesome.
my main objective and intention is just to help people wake up to a different reality.
Wake up to a different reality. Couple more questions. Thank you all
Sure.
for bringing in the questions. I love it. So Tyree is asking because she's the one who asked the question. I eat, comfort foods on the weekends. Is it that detrimental? Her next question is: should she detox and cleanse so she won't desire the comfort foods anymore?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's my whole point. Because everything that you're calling for, it's the toxicity around the cells. You know, so that's what's calling for. God made you perfect. God didn't make you want comfort foods on the weekend. It is to a tad emotional and stress too, what's going on around us. And when we do my detox, we do, you know, breath work and different things to help with that. And I make other recommendations. But yeah, everything that your body is calling for that God didn't intend to go in there can be turned around by breaking down the layers that you've built up over a lifetime. And by the way, those layers start in the nursery. You know, I mean, unless your mother breastfed and never gave you milk, fish, chicken, and dairy, and you had all the processed and other stuff that life has to offer, those wants and needs have been created since you were born in the world that we live in.
I have another question. I have type 2 diabetes. I take that. Any methods to reverse it?
Absolutely. I just worked with a medical doctor who was insulin dependent for 13 years. We got him off of it. Absolutely. I mean, I work with diabetic type 2 and type 1 have taken my classes. They don't get rid of the diabetes, but absolutely. That's a modern day disease. We didn't have that years and years ago, and it's an epidemic now. It's definitely created by the lifestyle that we live. And yes, it can be turned around. I will say it over and over again. We are a God-given, regenerating organism, and everything can be turned around with the right determination, intention, and plan.
Great question from another from Shy. Will you share at the retreat your 28-day detox? Will you be talking about this at the retreat?
I will absolutely be talking about that at the retreat and hope that we can get some people that I'm not going to start at the retreat. I want everybody to enjoy what you consider enjoying and have a good one. But I will be giving you tools to go home and to get started when you want to do something different. Absolutely. That will be a main focus of what I'll be talking about.
She's going to be sharing so much. I'm telling you guys, for an hour, she will be on the stage. And she's going to be at the retreat for 5 days and 4 nights.
And I will be
So,
available to talk to people. Absolutely.
and she will be available to talk to people. So if you haven't already registered, I don't know what you're waiting on. Like, go ahead and go to iamthatwomanmovement.org and register and come and be with Karyn to learn how you can change your life. Like, literally, that is what this movement is all about. Okay, I have another question. Can
Sure.
Karyn speak to how we can support our gut microbiome, our second brain, the seat of our immunity?
Oh, of course, there's so many ways. And, you know, there's a drink that I teach on and during the class to make a drink called Rejuvelate. I didn't invent it. There's so many ways to support that. You can do it through certain foods and whatever. And I will get more in that. But we are constantly breaking down that gut biome, especially if you take birth control pills or antibiotics, or even stress can do it. So there's so many ways to do it. But here's another little nugget that I want to give you. We will be, when I teach a class, I don't compartmentalize the body necessarily. Everything that I'm giving you and doing is to work on the whole. And I believe when you compartmentalize the body, you're kind of stepping into modern medicine, which is not a part of my world. I understand people need to go. I haven't had a mammogram or pap smear anything in 50 years, but I don't recommend that for anybody else. I'm just very clear about how I live my life. But, you know, I don't compartmentalize the body. Well, I'm going to take my breast over here and my nose over here and my knee over here and whatever, or my gut over here. It's all housed in one thing. So when you do my classes, we work on the whole thing. The only thing I kind of step outside of is my sugar break. And that's because people don't have to go vegan or plant-based or keto or blah, blah, blah. It's for everybody to do, can work on the sugar. But I'm not real big on compartmentalizing the body. I like to work on the whole.
The whole body. That's what this is all about. It's holistic wellness because it's all connected. So the nutrition is connected to the mind is connected to the emotions is connected to, it's all connected. Okay, get a little bit of feedback. Next question. I've been eating wrong for 60 plus years. Where do I start?
Come to the retreat and I'll give you all your beginnings. But you can come to my thing on Wednesdays. Where do you start? What I mean, it's I would need to know more of what you've been eating wrong for 60 years. And I certainly work with people in their 60s, 70s. Uh, I I work with people in all age stages. I mean, my husband is 81, and that's the story I'll give on the retreat, and how we just overcame everything. He's not on one medication in his life, neither am I. But it depends on what you're doing, where I can help you how to start breaking down. But you need to make changes. I would say start with giving up dairy, the most it's even worse than meat on the body, especially for our people eating dairy products, because the cow is an indigenous to our part of the world on an anthropological level. So we didn't learn to even evolve to use it as well as some other cultures. So the dairy is the worst thing on the planet for Black people to do. So I would say if you just gave up dairy, you could start to feel a change. But the thing of it is in everything. You can go out and order a salad and they go, oh, they put cheese in it. And the reason they do that is because salt, fat, and sugar is part of the human condition. And so they put it in to know they'll keep you coming back. But if you just gave up dairy, and I'll throw in caffeine and a few other things, but if you just gave up dairy, your body shape would start to change.
Wow, that's some good knowledge. She's dropping some nuggets, you all. Is kombucha good to drink for the gut?
It is, except that too much kombucha is not good. I know they're doing it now where it's less than, not even 1% alcohol, but it is made from sugar and caffeine. It does create a good bacteria, but there are other things that are more effective to do that. And I wouldn't drink more than 6 to 8 ounces of kombucha a day.
Oh, all right. And then my sister said 7 p.m. What time zone? So on
Oh,
Wednesdays at 7
Central Standard
Central.
Time. Yes.
Central. Karen is here in the Chicagoland area, so Central.
And if you go to you can sign up for my Patreon. It's free, but you have to sign up, and then they'll give you the code to come in and be a part of it.
Awesome. On Wednesdays at 7 o'clock. And then somebody said, Shy said, not my cheese. Yes, your cheese. What does dairy do to us, Karen?
Well, let me tell you about the cheese and why you don't want this, because there's so many vegetarians that aren't vegan, right? Because they can't give up their cheese. What you don't understand is the drugs, I mean, the chemicals that they put in cheese are just as addictive as heroin. And they use pig guts to bind the cheese, right? So you are addicted to these chemicals that you just have to have it. And that fat, part of the human condition is to have salt, fat, and sugar, but it's the wrong fat. So what we do is we start putting in the right fats. And right now, by the way, there's so many alternative fake cheeses out there. I have a lot of recipes on my website to make it to, but there's so many great, the Daya, there's some really good ones where you can make an exchange, and it may not taste exactly the same initially, but it's going to give you that emotional feeling. But cheese is, everybody's addicted to it because of the chemicals they put in it.
That is so good. Is it expensive to get healthy?
I think it's more expensive to be sick, except you have insurance to pay for it, and you kind of fall into it. It depends on, here's the deal. I was a single mother with 2 children. I've been homeless and without food for my children. And I saved my money and I bought a wheatgrass juicer and I changed my life, which is why I'm where I am today. Because I put all my money, I didn't get my nails done, didn't get my hair done. I put all my time, money, and energy into healing my body because it was so broken. So it just depends on where your level of what's important. But here's the deal. Once you start eating better, you don't eat as much. Maybe organic may feel more expensive, but it won't take as much to fill you up. And you'll have more energy to do more to make more money.
Love it. I love it. You all have been pouring the questions in. I knew Karen was going to be on fire today.
I can't help myself.
No, this is why we are blessed to have you this year as one of our powerful speakers, because this topic is so important.
It's
Our
everything.
nutrition, It's everything. Like literally, nutrition is medicine. Nutrition is the healer. Nutrition is literally how we live. Okay,
Hippocrates
so
said, let thy food be thy medicine. Hippocrates
let
said
thy
that.
yes, let thy food be thy medicine. Tyree says, I want to start the 28-day detox now. Get the book. Best to start that I after best to start that after next I think she meant Wednesday. Yes, after next
The book
Wednesday.
is called Soak Your Nuts. And there's a reason it's called that, because when you soak nuts, you break down the enzyme inhibitors and you make it easier to digest. Everybody's allergic to everything, and allergies are just based in poor digestion. So you soak them. That's all part of what you learn. But I didn't bring both books over for you to see, but I have a cookbook, and it's called Soak Your Nuts. One side is raw foods and the other side is cooked foods. But I also have Soak Your Nuts, the cleanse, and that's available on my website or Amazon.
I'm right there with you. I have two sisters on the line, and I have no doubt that Wednesday night we will be on. And I have no doubt that 28 days before the retreat, we are 40 days out from the retreat today. So, sisters, we have time to do this and look amazing at this year's I Am That Woman retreat. Because guess what? We can do this with you. We can work out and do our strength training with our fitness guru, Valerie Tyler. And we can come to the retreat and say, we are evidence of what these women can do and how they can change your life. Okay, one more question. Is this different for men than
No.
ladies?
No, absolutely not. We all have a couple of kidneys, a liver, a bloodstream. Yes, there's hormonal differences. Absolutely. But I will say this, when I used to teach my classes at my brick and mortar school in Lincoln Park, and I'd have like maybe 100, 125 people in the class, and maybe only a third of them were men, but the men always did better than the women. I mean, that first week they always lost more weight and everything because they're kind of trained in some ways to focus differently. And we as women have so many things to care for, this, and we're spreading ourselves so thin. But yes, there would be men and women, all races, all sizes, all ages. I mean, I've had people lose anywhere from 6 to 30 pounds in the first week of just stepping into God's plan for you.
Wow. Another question. Do you exercise?
Absolutely. I do have a little bit of, and I was a really exercise nut, and I wasn't the exercise because that kept me my size, but I love dance, ballet. So I take a professional advanced ballet class with girls 18 and under. I'm not as good as them, but I'm in the class. I do walk. Have done some 5K runs, but that's not my joy. And I do yoga for past 40 years, but I broke my shoulder in 17 places 7 years ago, and I was on a walker. I couldn't move. I couldn't lift my arms higher than this. And here at 77, I'm back in ballet, not in the professional one any longer, but I'm back in ballet, and I'm doing everything like nothing happened. Once again, it's because of the body's regenerative practices and not believing what they told me when I fell, not allowing that matrix of the medical world to define where I was going to go with how I was going to heal and what I was going to do. So yes, I do work out, and I do think it's important. I think prayer and meditation, that's my breakfast. People say, what do you eat for breakfast, Karyn? I pray and meditate every day of my life. I actually am up at 5:30 in the morning, and I don't go near my phone before 9 a.m. I won't answer it. I won't look at it. I keep it in another room. So that whole part of my morning, and we'll be talking about that, is what I do to get ready for the day. Get my body, get my mind, get everything, because the world is going to throw us stuff. That's part of what we're here for, the University of Life. How have I prepared myself for it? So I won't go near my phone. So I do my power plate, and I have a whole little thing downstairs here in my house. I walk my dog about a mile a day or more. My dog only has 3 legs, so we don't go any further than that any longer. And yeah, I have a routine, but I'm not in a gym, but I certainly don't have a problem with that. I've just never cared for gyms. And I think working out is important.
I think you kind of just answered this question. How does spirituality tie into healing?
Ah, it's everything. And here's what I'm here to tell you. If you have a strong spiritual connection, once you do this, you get even stronger. You see, every major religion has a fasting period. That's part of the spiritual part of a religion, is to make that connection closer. So when you get closer to the way God intended you to eat, it just brings you that much closer to everything, the spontaneity of life, the beauty of life. Even when things happen where they don't seem right, you just know it's right. It's part of what you're here for, because everything we go through is for us meant to be who we were meant to be. But when you have this clean body and you don't have all these chemicals raging in you, making you feel bad and jealous and blah, 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 it's a whole different experience life is. I believe for me, it's the way God, Spirit, Universe intended me to live, which is why it's such a huge part of it's my breakfast in the morning.
I absolutely love that you all have had so many questions for Karyn today. I'm glad we reconnected. I'm going to put your mic on mute just for a second, just because I'm getting a little bit of feedback. So thank you all for asking all of these amazing questions. I told you, I tried to prepare you. I sent out a newsletter. I should have sent out, shouted it from the mountaintops that I was going to have Karyn Calabrese today, because she is absolutely amazing. 77 years old, has not been sick in 50 years, works out, has a program. Look at her skin. Look at that glow. It almost looks like she has a light shining on her. And I bet you that is just her glow. Yes. Thank you so much. Can't wait to spend time with you at the I Am That Woman retreat. That's what one of our guests said. And I too. And I can't wait to see you on Wednesday. I cannot wait to start this 28 days. I am ready to sign up for it. All of our speakers are so powerful. Ladies, gentlemen, I will even have to say gentlemen, and thank you, Lester, for all of your questions. Listen, this movement is about your 6 pillars of health, and we are serious about providing you with information, resources, and events for you to live more holistically. Listen, stop taking care of everyone else more than you take care of yourself. Stop trying to pour from an empty cup, right? I'm drinking my own Kool-Aid. I told someone this morning, I'm on the front row of the I Am That Woman retreat. This is for me. I'm just inviting you all to be in the room with me, because what I know for sure is I need to be taught, not even retaught. I need to be taught how to live mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially, physically, and nutritionally. That's what Karyn is doing to us today. She is teaching us how we can live this God-given body that he gave us to live and not be sick, not deal with these chronic illnesses of obesity, heart disease, fibroids, breast cancer, all of the things that a lot of African American women are suffering with. And that is why God has given me this divine mission. Not always easy, but I am determined. Karyn, in closing, what would you like to share with our guests?
I end every interview that I do for the past 50 years with one thing to keep in mind. If you don't take care of your body, the most magnificent machine you'll ever be given, where are you going to live? Thank you.
Where are you going to live if you don't take care of your body? This most magnificent machine that we have been given. Where are you going to live? I cannot say thank you enough for joining me today and taking the time, my sister. I love you. I cannot wait to wrap my arms around you in St. Thomas, the USVI. It's not too late, you guys. Karyn is one of our amazing speakers, and you can join us in the USVI. Let me show you this beautiful picture. She got thumbs up. She's ready. She wants you to be there. So go ahead. You can do that QR code. You can plan for your next in paradise, October 2nd through the 6th. It's a $500 deposit to secure your spot. We've given you a 15% discount. It's a 5-star resort. The cost of just the regular cost of staying in the room is our entire package. I'm telling you, you cannot beat this. It is a deal of a lifetime. We're just here to try and help you heal. Thank you so much, Karyn. I love you, and I will definitely be talking to you soon. All right. Well, today's show was hot. It was fire. It was full of information about how you can live, how nutrition is your medicine. Listen, if you got a whole bunch of pills that you're taking every single day, you can reverse it. You can turn it around. Yes, I'm so glad that you are encouraged to reset your cells. I need to reset mine. And so I hope to see you all on Wednesday. Let me show up one more time how you can get into Karyn's community. This is not just about I Am That Woman. It's about sharing information, resources, and events. So go to shopkarens.com right now. And if you want to spend 5 days and 4 nights with Karyn, get poured into, listen, I'm sure if Karyn had a retreat, I know for sure it would be much more than what our fee would be, because this woman has knowledge like none other. And so go ahead, support shopkarens.com, start your wellness journey, start your nutrition being your medicine, and get off all of those medicines. Get off all of those things that are just killing you anyway. I'm ready to start my journey of taking dairy out my diet. All right, so you all also know, you absolutely know, that we have prayer and meditation every morning. I was going to tell Karyn I have to have her as a guest one day and guide us in our meditation. So you already know that every Monday through Friday, and I think I did it again. Did I do it again? I still don't have the new. Do I have the new one up here? Sometimes I trick my own self. Okay, I have not uploaded it yet. I'm going to do that right after this call. And I think I said that last week. But Monday, Tuesday and Thursday we are at 5:30. Wednesday and Friday we are at 6:30. We start our day in prayer and meditation on a conference call, 351-999-3566. Please join us if you need a community for prayer and meditation. As Karyn said, it is the best way to start your day, and we want you to start your day with us. The I Am That Woman retreat. Let me tell you what you can do that you do not want to miss out on. I got too many banners going on. I'm doing the show by myself today. 15% off. Registration was $2,200. Now it's only $1,870. Go ahead, go to I Am That Woman movement right now and register. It is priceless. $3,170 single occupancy. That includes your room, and $2,520 for double occupancy. You truly want to be there. You all have already been introduced to Karyn Calabrese, Cassandra Cummings. We have Dr. Jean Porter King coming. Tori is coming. Valerie is coming. Let me tell you, you guys, this retreat is going to be on fire. I promise you, it is going to be the most outpouring. Dr. Portia Lockett, Latia Vaughn, Orlena. If you all have missed our Thursday information sessions, don't miss it this Thursday. We have the powerhouse Latia Vaughn coming to talk to us on Thursday. The futurist, the Black futurist, just on the cover of Forbes. You all do not want to miss it. Thursday, 7 p.m. Central Time. Go ahead and sign up. You do not want to miss it. That concludes our show for today. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you learned something about how nutrition can and is your medicine. Go and have a very, very blessed day. Bye-bye.